Hey guys, I thought I would start doing altcoin updates, and this video is going to be Doge. I'm going to try and run as many Doge updates as I can. Possibly not every single day, but as often as possible. So I'm going to do this with the Doge Tether pair on Binance, just the spot chart. Now this is the weekly chart zoomed way out. Let's zoom out a little further, basically to where you can see every column here represents 1 year. So as we know, 2021 was an incredible year for Dogecoin. It got up to a high of almost 74 cents. And since then it went into a nasty bear market for the rest of 2021. And basically for most of 2022, all of 2023 and into some of 2024, it's been in a sideways consolidation. And that consolidation range is this green box that I have drawn up here. And that is between 5 cents and about 10 cents or 9 cents. I've got it here. But you could argue it goes all the way up to 10 cents. So let me just adjust that because I think it is 10. It's not just 5, it's 10. So we'll go 0.1 and then this one's 0.5. That locks it in. All right. Now, you can see down the bottom here, if I go down to the daily chart, I've got sort of like time spans depicted since the fall. So the fall started pretty much on SNL, which was the 8th of May, 2021. I've got, it doesn't perfectly line up, but basically that marks 1 year since that sort of moment of the drop. So you can see it took a whole year just to get it down below 10 cents. And then it took another year of sideways consolidation. Now this moment right here, this spike out of nowhere, that was when Elon Musk bought Twitter, which is now X as we know. So there was a nice big giant rally that came off the back of that, but after that hype wore off, it gave it basically all back. We got back into the accumulation range. And since then, it's just been sideways. So it spent that second year, pretty much most of it's been spent in that box. And then the third year, almost a full year of further consolidation. We started taking off, I think it was March. Yeah, about March of this year. We did a fantastic rally that came up and we got higher than the Twitter high. I'm going to call that the Twitter high. So that was the Twitter high. Now we're up, what is this level? I think it's like 23 cents, something like that. Let's get a line on that. We'll lock it in perfectly. So yeah, 22,888 according to this chart. So basically 23 cent Doge. I'm going to make this line a different color because I like to use this pink kind of color for my all-time high lines. Let's use yellow. Okay, so we need to get back up and challenge that high if we're gonna have any kind of hope of coming up even close to testing the all-time high. I think it is possible in the long run. Now let's get a little bit more local about what's happening here and now. And what I might do before I do that quickly, I'm just going to extend this accumulation zone. Who knows how long that's going to stay relevant, but I'm just going to drag it out there so it's nice and wide. And you can see recently we have dipped back into that accumulation zone a couple of times now, producing some pretty good buy opportunities. Now, just by looking at it, I'm sure you guys can see it too. There is like a falling wedge happening. Let's just try to draw that out. We'll see if it doesn't quite match up perfectly with this part of the action, but these points definitely are reacting with each other. And just today's Sunday candle, we've popped back up again through that trend line. I'm going to make that a red line because it's resistance. And we do have some bottom side trend as well. It's not as clean, I would argue. I would say something more like this, perhaps. See how I'm cutting off a lot of action? It's going to take a little bit of adjustment just to sort of get a nice happy medium there. Maybe something like that. But you get the point. I feel like the top side, you have a lot more accuracy than the bottom side, or a lot more uniformity, rather. So, but that's what I'm seeing, is some kind of falling wedge. Now, this was a little bit of a false start. Like, this little breakout did look good. We did get it initially on the daily chart, but, and we even back tested and found support on top of the wedge. And we almost launched off there. And we did start to launch, but, you know, the subsequent price action from Bitcoin in the stock market has caused another slump in the price. But you can see that it's relatively found support again back off that trend line that's been set in by all these lows, right? So it's bouncing off there. We're coming back out again. Now there's a sort of phrase that I made up called bouncing off the flipper. So when you've got a falling wedge and the price is like pinballing through and then breaks out, sometimes, not all times, but sometimes you get a back test of that wedge and it can launch off getting support on the top side of the wedge, like here. And I call that bouncing off the flipper. So if you think of like a pinball flipper, that's how I see it. Let's see. So let's zoom in a little further. Let's get a little bit more specific. So we know on the daily that we're now coming back up out of it. It's definitely still in a downtrend on the macro. Let's go down to the 4-hour or even the hourly chart. Let's go to the hourly chart. So much like Bitcoin, if you've been catching up with my Bitcoin updates, we've got this nice uptrend happening since the extreme low here. So we've got a low, a high, a low, a high, a higher low, and then we're currently now working on a potential higher high. Let's zoom right in. So technically we have achieved that higher high now. If I lock that in and draw this line across, you could almost say that it's potentially swing failing if we don't get a nice candle close above this yellow line. It could just be like a liquidity grab or a stop hunt above this previous high, this position A. So right now, much like Bitcoin, things are looking bullish on the hourly chart. You know, you've got this uptrend. If you zoom out, obviously we've got a lot of work to do. You got some previous highs to deal with, like namely, this would be the peak. This would be like the tip of the iceberg, locally speaking. And then this is like less significant, so on and so forth. Less significant, but this is the one here. I'll circle it and make arrows. But, and what price is that? That is 14.5 cents, basically. 14.4, if you want to get real specific. 14.375, if you, yeah. So, from here, so far so good. We're starting to even maybe look at breaking back out of this red resistance trend line. Just seeing if there's any other trends that might be forming as well, because this has produced a bit of action at the top here too, with all of this activity out the front. So maybe it's almost in parallel, if you notice that too. with the red line. There's like a parallel channel that exists outside. So maybe if we do break out, this will produce some kind of resistance up here when we get to it. But anyway, that should get the ball rolling for some more frequent Doge coin updates. We've got a base point now. We've got all of this analysis in. I don't have to cover this ground again. We can just pick up from where I left off on today's video, so on and so forth, and we can track the progress together. All right, guys, thanks for checking out the video again, and remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next updates. Have a good one.